The taste of the chicken and turkey is still very much in our lips as we are still saying a very big Happy New Year to everyone, including you, our viewers who have stood strong over the years. Welcome. This is HotSports. Needless to say, it's the longest running independent sports show on Nigerian television, and I'm glad to be your host. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and the guys are still in the studio. They have actually just joined us in the studio. Guys, before we even go to what we have for the viewers, at what point, let me start with the, at what point do we stop, rather, saying Happy New Year to everybody?
End of January.
And so for a whole new month of January.
End of January.
All right.
Most times, first time I see you.
Yeah.
But since our viewers is end of January.
Okay.
If I see you in February, see you in March, it's Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right. So Happy New Year to see you again.
Yeah, Happy New Year to see you.
It's good to see you. Leia, how you doing, man?
I'm very well. For me, I think 2 weeks of the New Year is enough.
It's enough, yeah. So from the 3rd week, since everybody has traveled and come back,
everything has gone back to normal. Work starts and everything. Great to be on the show. Another weekend to talk sports. On one of the most, the longest serving sports show on television. Good to be on the show.
Absolutely. Great to have you join us as well. We are pumped up for this one. We're ready. Are you ready for what is coming your way? Find out what is right after this break.
Ahead of the 2019 Lagos International Para Powerlifting Competition scheduled for January 24th to 31st at the Oriental Hotel in Lekki, Lagos, one of the major sponsors, Brisland Campina Wamco, makers of Pinnick, has promised to empower the Nigerian team to excel and come out tops at the end of the competition. Pinnick's support for the para powerlifting athletes was one of the key high points of a media session organized by the main organizing committee of the Lagos International Para Powerlifting Competition in Lagos on Wednesday. Marketing manager of Pinnick, Maureen Ifada, reiterated the sponsors' commitment to support the competition.
Pinnick recognized a remarkable set of people who achieved groundbreaking success against all odds. We call them the Unstoppables. Our decision to partner with the team is in line with the brand's promise to enable and empower its teaming consumers to reach their peak, regardless of any limitations.
As part of his support for the first Para Powerlifting International Competition in Nigeria, Pinnick has procured an IPC International Paralympic Committee approved mobility bus with the capacity to seat 12 people and 15 wheelchairs. The president of the Para Powerlifting Federation of Nigeria, Queen Obo, said 10 countries have confirmed their participation in the competition, and there will be 10 classes to compete for, with 20 gold medals at stake. The media event to officially announce the unveiling of the Para Powerlifting competition was attended by Para Powerlifting athletes who are world record holders in their various specialized categories.
And we said something about comeback, and this comeback is big. Absolutely. Guys, Insurance FC are back in the big league. I don't know, guys, for some people, some of our viewers that are of the younger generations, I do not even know what Insurance FC was. Yeah. But this is one of the household power names of Nigerian football yesteryears, but we've seen them struggle so much in the NNL. Now they are back in the big league. This means good for you.
Fantastic one, Babajide Guerrero. For Insurance, it's been great that they are back, and of course, it took the effort of so many stakeholders, from the governor of the state, talking about Governor Obaseki, and of course, a couple of sport veterans, likes of Gondido women, Frank Laboya. These are men that journalists have also been asked to reshape, how the club would have gone. And of course, it's good to see that they are back, and hopefully it will be nice to see fixtures likes of Insurance against Enugu Rangers, Atlantic, because it will revive a form of Orekondo rivalries when it comes to the Nigerian league. So it's a good one. Hopefully we see how it goes. Maybe this time around they'll be in the league for a very long time to come.
We've seen Insurance back. I'm so excited, but the question is, when will we see the likes of 3SC being a dominant force again, and then stationery stores, Julius Berger? These are teams that are customary teams. Whatever the likes of the names they had mentioned, the kind of work they've put in, can't we see such amount of work for these other clubs?
Well, it's going to be slightly difficult. First of all, congratulations to Ben Insurance. So that's my state club.
I know.
They are back in
the big league.
One, yeah. So, but basically, like we said, the problem a lot of these clubs might have is the fact that they are being funded by state governments But yeah, that's the thing. So, like you said, it's going to be difficult now. What most of them need to do is try and get private investors into it, because these clubs are not just ordinary clubs. These are the clubs you grew up with, you know, Boyhood Dreams, Bender Insurance, 3SC, Julius Berger. You know, there was a time Julius Berger FC for me was like, that's my club.
It is.
You know, I was like, whenever, you know, you see those main clubs all going there, but now you're seeing that the private-owned clubs are taking over the sports system. But like I said, teams need to break away from government and get private investors, so that way we can see. But big kudos to Bender Insurance.
Absolutely.
You know?
Well, congratulations. Needless to say that we are so happy to have Insurance FC back in the big one. And well, the big one was the CAF Awards, happened during the course of the week. So many long faces, so many joyful faces as well. Speaking of joyful, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Aubameyang, credible nominees. Eventually, Mo Salah bagging the gong again, back to back, and then of course the list of the winners on your screen. But congratulations to the team. The Super Falcons were the female team of the year, well deserved. But guys, now let's assume all those didn't happen. Let's talk about the one that concerns the whole of Africa, which is the Africa 11. On your screen, guys, is what the Africa 11 currently looks like. And take a look at that team, you know. In a World Cup year that we had significant impact by some of the best players in Nigeria and some players in Africa, we have a certain Riyad Mahrez in that particular list. And of course, Naby Keita.
Well, the thing about that list is, like I always said, there's an issue with African Football Awards. And I don't really know. I said it's a topic for another day, but I don't know when that day is going to come. We're going to talk about it.
So let's have it today.
Mahrez had a very terrible season before he moved to Man City, because that was the season, I don't know whatever stats they are going to pop out there, but that was the season Ranieri got sacked. Now, we need to get, African Awards needs to move away from what we are doing right now. We keep depending on European players. The South American Award is based on players in South America. The Asian Award is based on players in Asia. So how come in Mahrez, he wouldn't even go to the World Cup? It's been put in the African 11 in a year that you've had Nigerian teams that have gone to World Cup. You have players. I don't have a problem with Salah. Yes, undoubtedly, I don't have a problem with Salah. Because I feel Salah was among the top 10 best players last year in the world. So well deserved for Mo Salah. But seeing that list is just based on you play in Europe, you get on this list. It's not really based on what you are playing right now.
One player that everybody expected to be right in there was Ndidi of Nigeria.
Yeah, it was quite shocking that Wilfred Ndidi, who actually did so well for Leicester City before the World Cup, had so many fantastic statistics playing for Leicester City, being voted one of the best passers of the ball in one of top 5 leagues in Europe, and begin to wonder he played at the FIFA World Cup and of course couldn't even make the list. And you begin to wonder in Naby Keita, who just did well for Leipzig, moved to Liverpool, has actually been on the bench, and his team Malian team did eventually play at the World Cup. So, but from reports, it was said that those that actually made those votes were players, association of players who maybe in a way they hardly watch the English league, or maybe they just tend to go to the social media and see whoever has caught the hype and begin to vote for them. So, but on the level of statistics, or if we were to be journalists, I think Ndidi notably should have been on that list. And it's really, going by what some other, pundits alike have said, Ahmed Musa, he didn't have a very bad, time playing for
it's a World Cup here.
Yeah, CSK in Moscow before eventually, after he didn't have so much playing time at Leicester, moved to CSK in Moscow, did very well for himself. And of course, we saw how he shone like a minister at the FIFA World Cup. So all of this being put together, like they always say, there's never a perfect 11. But this one is actually, in a way shocking that Ndidi don't just be part of the list.
There's one fact we need to consider too, that if these players have been voted for by other players in CAF, that's how CAF award is being done. It's voted by professional players, not by panels or coaches. Then there's a problem there, because I don't think a player like Salah will be watching African League, because he's busy every time. So maybe he goes on social media and say, oh, Mahrez did this. Oh, Kalibule is the best player. Oh, Bailey is this. So he's not going to really watch this. So it's funny. So maybe they will vote their colleagues that are slightly popular. So that's why I've almost said it earlier, that it's more of a popularity vote than actual talent on the pitch. That season.
I mean, for that particular season.
That's the only way we can defend why Mahrez is on that list. Because as far as I'm concerned, because even if it's not even Ranieri's season, he finished on that last season or 2 years ago. Mahrez, till he came to Man City the season before, shouldn't be on that list.
One thing we can also confirm to you, that Egypt has been confirmed to host the Nations Cup come June to July Of course, they defeated South Africa, who happened to be the other country in that hosting bid right there, to 16 votes to 1, because Cameroon were not ready to host Africa, especially now that it's expanded to 24 teams. Egypt, it seems the ghost of bad organizations that have haunted in the last 20 years, even affecting their own local football, has been finally exorcised, and now they're having a great field. Do you think they have what it takes to host the Nations Cup?
Yes, they've hosted it in times past about 3 times. This will be actually their 4th, and looking at the fact that they've got one of the best leagues in Africa, if not the best, the likes of Al-Ahly of Egypt are from there, and of course, knowing full well that they've hosted some couple of international tournaments, except for Nations Cup in 2009. Absolutely. They hosted the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in 2009, in which I think Ghana won back then. So beginning to wonder that they've got fantastic, very like Alexandria and a couple of other places. So I think for me, CAF actually did made the right decision. South Africa, any day, anytime, will always be a very good host country.
Africa's big brother.
Absolutely, when it comes to hosting major competitions. Yeah. But I think for Egypt, when I actually saw the presentation, they made fantastic presentation about the host cities, the people, the culture, and of course the football ideology in which they've got. So good one for Egypt. To be a time then again for this set of Egyptian players to come into record in football that they've actually enjoyed some consistency in terms of African football in the past, but at the time it's actually backslid that. So let's get to see how they perform when the tournament kickstarts in June.
We're looking forward to that one, especially if your sentiments are with Nigeria having qualified for the Nations Cup. The Nations Cup is one of the things we'll be talking about in the main issue right after this break. This is HotSports.
Still wallowing in limbo after his exclusion from Chelsea's main squad this season, embattled midfielder Victor Moses has been offered a lifeline to rejoin the Super Eagles if he will reconsider his earlier stance to quit international football. Super Eagles Franco-German tactician and coach Genrot Rohr, who appears to be systematically rebuilding a solid team for the 2019 African Nations Cup, has offered an olive branch to the former England junior international.
Yes, Victor Moses told me, I was surprised after the World Cup that he wanted to stop. I tried to convince him that it's not the moment for him to stop. I didn't succeed, and even his agent told me now he has to focus on the club.
Rohr also believes Moses can secure a new club deal in the January transfer window after falling out of favour at Stamford Bridge.
I hope that he will have now the opportunity to play again in this club or in another one. The FIFA window will open in January, so perhaps he can change the club and he can find a club where he will play, and he can change again his mind. He's only 27 years old, he's too young to stop international career.
Moses has played only 2 out of 15 Premier League games for Chelsea this season, with a cameo appearance of 9 minutes in Chelsea's opening day fixture against Huddersfield. His second league contribution for the Blues was when he came in as a 73rd minute substitute against Liverpool on the 29th of September in Stamford Bridge.
And we are back. Our main issue on HotSports today is the president of the NFF, Amaju Pinnick, is saying that, hey, how about we reconsider bringing back Victor Moses, given the fact that his retirement news was a bit premature. And okay, so that's where we are going to drop it just before, the guys come in with their thoughts. Victor Moses departed the Super Eagles of Nigeria quite unceremoniously as well, saying that he needs to concentrate on happenings in Chelsea. And now towards the Nations Cup, the best hands must be employed, and to see if Nigeria can bring back the gong from Egypt. So we got Eyino and Leye as usual in the studio. These gentlemen are getting ready. Eyino, your thesis statement.
We're back at it again, but my statement still remains the fact that Victor Moses should be called back to the national team.
Leye.
He's a Nigerian. He's got a green passport, even though he grew up in the UK. I think at any point in time, I think he has got every chance to come play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, especially as we begin our quest for the Nations Cup in June.
There you have it, everyone. Still saying we don't need a Victor Moses, especially when you have new talents coming through the ranks. And Leye is saying he's still got what it takes to play for the green, white, green. We'll come back right after this break for the argument proper. We are back, and Leia, you were saying that Victor Moses, just like every other player, deserves a place in the team.
Yeah, he does deserve a place in the team, and I think the likes of Amaju Pinnick actually talking to him, and of course at the time, William said if the door is still very much open if he wants to come back. And I quite attest to that because he left prematurely because he wanted to concentrate on club football. And eventually we saw what has happened to him at Chelsea, even though he left, but of course he has not really stamped his foot, and he might be on his way out to Fulham or thereabouts. So I think he is one player that has always got quality on his rank. At just 27-year-old, played a couple of games for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, scored goals for the Super Eagles, and at the same time was able to win, the Nations Cup in 2013 when he made his debut. Played at the FIFA World Cup.
You're just calling all this. He has done.
I think he still got that lot of experience because at the crop of Nigerian players right now, aside from the likes of Genobi Mikel, maybe Ahmed Musa, they are not experienced players in the team. Because when you go for
the German team,
you keep talking about the German team. This is not Germany.
See, you spoke of those like he has won the World Cup, he has won the Nations Cup, he has won the Champions League, he has won this, that is. Victor Moses has not played 5 Premier League games this season. He hasn't played any of those Premier League games this season. That's why. So he's a player that has not played any game. Now you are saying that I always speak about Germany. Your African CAF Award just gave players that are playing in Europe. Why did not give it to your African players here? That you're talking about Germany. Wait about that. You don't need a Victor Moses national team.
Was condemned to the bench by Pep Guardiola.
Samuel Chukwueze is out. He's 19.
He's 19.
He played against Real Madrid. The pundit he got, the credit he got from that match was not just from Nigeria. Was worldwide. You're talking about Marca Press praising that boy. This is the same boy you want a Victor Moses that has not played even against Manchester United when they had Mourinho. Manchester United Mourinho was one of the worst things you see in football. Moses didn't play anything. No, it's not perspective. You first started about this.
Okay,
you want that point out. You're talking about enlightenment because you don't have blown it out.
Gentlemen, the reason is this. All right, let me say something
to another level. No, he has taken this to total.
I'm the president of the show, right?
Because it's not. It doesn't make sense.
I want to ask a question.
See, you set standards for everything you do.
Absolutely,
you set standards. The tactics you are playing today was from someone in the company.
And you think it's got
he has scored. Samuel Chukwueze has scored at least 3 goals. At least 3 goals in the La Liga. Because Moses has nothing in Premier League. And you're talking about bringing Moses back. You said because Amaju said they should bring Moses back. Moses has gone. He has gone. End of discussion. He has crossed the river. He has crossed the river. Moses has crossed the river Nile, and he's out. He has gone to the promised land.
All right, so now so Moses has gotten to his promised land.
Yeah, he has gone to his promised land.
Back anymore. He passed the Red Sea, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know where he passed.
All right,
but we don't need him anymore.
But gentlemen, let's agree with this. Leia, I'm coming back to you on something, but I need you to explain something to me. Okay. Do you agree that Victor Moses is a good player? Is he?
Do I agree he's a good player? Yeah, he's a good player.
All right, so why isn't he good?
Every player that plays football professionally is a good player.
Okay, so why isn't it? You're going to tackle this.
There's a step.
Hold on.
There's a step.
You're going to tackle
this. There's a step.
I'm going to ask you next. Why do you think he's not good enough to play again for the Super Eagles? Then you're going to tackle.
First of all, I'm going to give you 3 reasons. 3 reasons. Okay. Did you qualify for the Nations Cup with him? Yes or no? Please answer.
No.
I want him to answer. Did you qualify? Yes or no? Did you qualify Nations Cup with him? Yes or no? No, yes or no? Please answer. The game we lost against Argentina, who were they insulting on Twitter? The whole Nigerians and every social media? Who has he played up to 3 Premier League games this season? So please tell me, why are you calling him back? He didn't qualify for the Nations Cup.
Let me stop him so he can talk.
It's quite easy.
Let him finish.
A player did not qualify. A player did not play qualifications with us. The likes of Igalo that have stayed with the national team, that have gone to play, they've played. These guys have traveled back and forth. Moses was in London. You know how they call it, London chilling. He was doing all that, and now we've qualified for the Nations Cup. And he wants to come back. And you're saying, Amaju said he should come to the team. Why would it be like this?
Now let's reply. Leia, please.
I think for me, for every player, for an individual, there will be a time in your life where you just have to, in a way, follow your instinct. You follow this instinct after the FIFA World Cup. A lot of people never saw it.
Please do not interrupt.
But then again, right now, there are talks about him coming back. If the psychology is right, if the mentality is right, why not?
Are you a psychologist?
Excuse me, let me make my point. And now when he comes back to the national team, surely he will add so much grit going forward.
Let me tell you something.
These days, if you don't, Mikel was at Chelsea, never played weekly week out. Excuse me. When at Chelsea, never played weekly week out at Chelsea, but when time he comes to the national team of Nigeria,
Mikel showed dedication to the national team. Dedication is key. See, let me give you there are some players that don't play all seasons, but you need them in the national team because of inspiration.
So why
Look at Sweden, for example. When Zlatan, after they qualified for the World Cup, you heard Zlatan talking that if he's called back, guys, they don't need you. Victor Moses said, we don't need you. We've qualified for the Nations Cup. Kudos to the team that's qualified without Victor Moses. Let's move on. We shouldn't talk about this anymore. This is the second time I'm talking about this. And Leye is always, I don't understand his love for Victor Moses.
So
Sari has even told you. Sari has said this is Moses. You are not in my plan.
All right, so that's the thoughts from me. That would actually be his final thoughts. Really, it must be said that these gentlemen are fired up. But I really have to take Leye's thoughts. Leye, Victor Moses, has agreed that he's a good player.
I said that every professional footballer is a good player.
Excuse me, he's a good player.
Professional footballer to be a good player.
Is he a footballer that is a good player?
The next step you ask me, is he average? Is he world class? Is he above average? That's what you need to ask me. But let's do that behind the camera. Let's not cause quarrel here.
Okay.
So let's move. You know my thoughts on that already.
All right, so
what
is your thought of Victor Moses on national team?
What to say?
What is your thought about Victor Moses on national team?
You want to ask me about
I'm asking you.
What is your thought of the guy?
Ghana is world class.
So I'm asking you now. What exactly, at this point, what is Victor Moses bringing to the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
One is
as your last thoughts.
Experience. He's won the Nations Cup before, and looking at the array of players that are dead national team right now, especially at the wing play. Talk about Samuel Chukwueze, talk about the young man at Bordeaux, Samuel Kalu. These are young lads, but of course, experience always matters at the time in our lives, and I believe for me, Victor Moses does bring that to the table.
He's bringing his rods.
Excuse me. regardless.
His rods.
But the thing is,
we are going to Egypt. We are going to Egypt for a Nations Cup. I want to call Moses. Moses has left Egypt. You can't call him back, please. You can't call him back.
Guys, you know what?
Yeah, sorry I'm interrupting you.
This is one of those shows, man.
I think we shouldn't just say why we need Moses back.
We need
this
him,
is
right?
the perfect answer.
For him not
he
to
doesn't have to come back to Egypt with the national team. So we need to leave.
Guys, that takes us to the break. And when we return, it'll be time for final whistle. It's been a tremendous time on the show. All right, you've heard the gentleman, and quite hilarious, especially towards the end of that one. I just had to laugh, forgive me. HotSports is like that sometimes, not always serious, sometimes very, very fun. I'm sure you enjoyed that particular argument, but here's my final whistle. I think Moses has left the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and even though the coach has said, if you want to come back, you don't have a direct shirt, you don't have an automatic shirt, I beg your pardon. What you have is the right to fight for your shirt. But I slightly would lean close to what Leye said about experience. Experience is absolutely immense when you going into a top competition like the Nations Cup. But then again, and it's very funny but true, Moses has actually left the team. And of course, this Moses has actually left Egypt. He shouldn't go back to Egypt, in the words of, gentlemen, it's been a fine show.
Yeah,
Leye, even though you were not able to finish your thoughts earlier, I think you should have the right to probably just say a few words and then we end the show.
I will stay interrupted.
Like I said earlier, hopefully, let's see, he has an open arms. He's Nigerian, regardless of the fact that he went out or he retired. So let's wait and see the outcome. I just hope the Super Eagles of Nigeria would prepare well ahead of the Nations Cup because they will have to fight so much. But let's not forget we'll be playing against Egypt though in March in a friendly. So from there we can start from there.
All right, as we leave, is it the first Saturday? The second Saturday of the month of January. Any weddings on your plan today?
No,
not yet.
Weddings, yes.
Nobody has gathered enough money to get married yet.
It's not about that. But like Leye said, the fact about I wish the Super Eagles good luck for this year's Nations Cup. I'm looking forward to it though.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to Egypt, I'm going to Egypt. I'm flying. I'm not doing the Red Sea thing.
All right.
Flying there. I have to be in Egypt 2019.
Yeah. We're looking forward to that. I mean, for those that really can't go, or for those that will be here to bring you the very best of news, know for a fact that it will be a tremendous Nations Cup for everyone. We thank you very much for joining us. Remember, please do well to follow us on our social media platform at HotSportsNG. And of course, keep up with news, updates, and live scores on www.hotsporttv.com. My name is Babajide Guerrero. Until we come your way again next week, Saturday, we say thank you and God bless you. Bye for now.